The final witness is testifying in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial. The defense acknowledges Clancy killed her children, but says she's not criminally responsible because she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. Now, prosecutors asked psychiatrist Gregory Sothoff from the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit about his 11-hour interview with Clancy, and they focused on Clancy's conflicting accounts of what happened the day she killed her children. Now the defense is questioning Sothoff. ABC's Peter Haralambous and legal contributor Shauna Lloyd have more on all that. So, Peter, how important is this testimony for the prosecution's case?
Yeah, what really stands out to me about this is that the jury has heard from a lot of medical experts, but this is someone who's arguably the person with the most experience with psychosis. He told the jury he's treated thousands of patients with psychosis, and that based off his experience, what Clancy is describing is really unusual. He pointed out two big things. One, most instances of psychosis are intermittent. They happen frequently, not just once. They're often ongoing. In the case of Clancy, she only claimed she experienced these auditory hallucinations one time. She claimed that it was just a loud voice in her head and that it immediately stopped after she killed her third child. All of that, he said, is really inconsistent with his experience of psychosis. He also pointed out inconsistencies in her account of things. He basically interviewed her. He interviewed Patrick Clancy, the ex-husband. He reviewed notes from her interviews with other experts. And he basically pointed out small inconsistencies that kind of add up, most notably about a 20-minute gap in the account of when the psychosis began. He just finished up his direct examination and basically told jurors, like the other experts who've testified for the rebuttal, that she was aware of her actions and that she should be held criminally responsible.
Shauna, how much do you think the inconsistencies Sothoff is reporting help the prosecution in trying to prove that Clancy wasn't suffering from psychosis?
The inconsistencies are going to be important to the prosecution and their case because what it does is it shows the moments, especially when she was alone, when no one was observing her. These are the moments that they're pointing to a lot of these inconsistencies that point to the idea that she was very much in control and aware of her actions. I think the jury is tuned into this because these are very pivotal moments that highlight behavior that the prosecution is pushing forth, say that she should be held criminally negligent. And as Peter was saying, this particular witness is really important because he is not paid directly by the defense or by the state, and his background suggests that he is neutral of sorts when we talk about witnesses for the jury. His sole job is to analyze people's behavior, and I think that's going to go a long way when we're talking about jurors evaluating the credibility of a witness.
Shauna, this seems like a really strong witness for the prosecution. Was this a deliberate strategy to make him the last witness the jury will hear from?
Absolutely, Diane. We have to remember that people remember the first thing you said and the last thing. This is what is going to stick with them as they hear these closing arguments. The closing arguments are going to be framed against this very important and powerful witness for the state. And that is what the state is looking to have happen for the jury. They want these seeds of doubt to be in place when they're hearing closing arguments. So that way, when they go into the deliberation room, they're really examining her statements to make a determination as to whether or not she should be held criminally negligent.
And Peter, this trial has gone far longer than the week anticipated. So what happens next?
Yeah, that's right. This rebuttal case, nearly 3 times as long as we first anticipated, further complicated by that request for a mistrial on Monday. The jury's going to be sent home early today as soon as this testimony concludes. We're in the middle of cross-examination. I assume there'll be a little bit of redirect. And then prosecutors will finally rest their case. The lawyers will stick around, though, this afternoon. They're going to do a charge conference, which has been rescheduled at this point 3 different times. And they'll be back in the morning for closing arguments. I think they could be deliberating by the end of the day.
All right, Peter Haralambous, Shauna Lloyd, thank you both. Thank you.